Can I train clients with high blood pressure? Hi, I'm Hayley from Parallel Coaching, and in today's video we're exploring high blood pressure or hypertension, and we're also understanding what you can do as a fitness professional in terms of can you work with them or can't you work with them, and what is it that you need to do following that understanding. So today we're going to dive into this question in a lot more detail, but before we do, if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you click the red button so you can find more videos just like this. So this question about hypertension often comes up from trainee or qualified fitness professionals, personal trainers, gym instructors, Pilates, yoga instructors, all of these that are starting to work with clients, and a client comes through the doors that has hypertension and they suddenly question whether or not they can work with them. Now, the first thing we need to know is what hypertension or high blood pressure actually is. So hypertension is classed as any blood pressure reading over 140/90. Now, 140 represents the systolic reading. This is the pressure in the arteries when the heart is contracting. And 90 represents the diastolic reading, whereby it's the pressure in the arteries when the heart is relaxed. But essentially, if that reading says 140 or above for the systolic, or 90 or above for the diastolic, then it's classed as hypertension. And there's different classifications of hypertension as you go up through the different readings. But all you need to know is that if one of these is elevated, then at this point it's classed as hypertension. It's also classed as hypertension if your client has a normal reading, so that's under those two figures, but is on medication to control it and bring it back down to that level. So we've got two factors here. One, if the reading is elevated, and second, if they are actually on medication already, diagnosed with hypertension, got medication to bring it down and stabilize it to a normal level, they still are hypertensive. So now you've got the understanding of who and what type of client and readings we're looking at. Now we need to know what you can do as a fitness professional. So because having hypertension or being on blood pressure medication means that somebody would fail a PAR-Q. Now, a PAR-Q is your pre-activity readiness questionnaire that as a fitness professional you should be using with every single client before you start working with them. This basically acts as a risk stratification. It allows you to see whether you're qualified to work with them and whether they have any immediate risks involved with starting exercise. But with this in particular, with blood pressure, it basically means that they tick yes to the PAR-Q. And in doing so, only those that are qualified can work with them. So the qualification that you need is either level 3 exercise referral, sometimes called GP referral, or the new version of this, which is the level 3 diploma in supporting clients with long-term conditions. These two qualifications basically explain everything that you need to do with those particular conditions. So it teaches you lots of different long-term conditions, but in particular with hypertension as well, and what that means in terms of the exercises you can give your clients and how to manage that safely. So somebody who is qualified knows how to manage all of the safety around those elevated blood pressure readings. Somebody who hasn't been taught how to do that, and therefore is not qualified to work with those that have hypertension. So that's the first bit. So this is now what you need to do if you are not qualified. So if you are not qualified as exercise referral or long-term conditions, then what you need to do with your client is when they fill in that PAR-Q and you find out that they are hypertensive or they're already on blood pressure medication, is that you need to refer to a different fitness professional that is qualified to work with them. You can't refer to the GP and just get a blanket kind of stamp that says, yep, they're good to exercise, because even if a GP done that, they're under the assumption that you are qualified to work with them, and that's why you sent the letter, not that you are not qualified and that the letter basically null and voids that. So the GP letter is not there instead of a qualification, it's there for those that are qualified. So your role, if you're not qualified, is to basically go and refer it to somebody who is able to work with that client. Now, if you are qualified in exercise referral or long-term conditions, then you can work with these clients. So you've already learned about the condition, you've learned about the types of medication, the signs and symptoms of the medication, the side effects, and you've also learned about the types of exercises that you can adapt. And that's what you now need to do. But the first part before you start working with that client is to expand your risk stratification. Yes, you might have done a PAR-Q, But for these clients that refer a PAR-Q, there's something called a PAR-Q Plus. This helps your risk stratification and know exactly what you do. So we assume that they've ticked yes at the top for their high blood pressure, but on the secondary questions underneath, if they tick yes that basically their condition is unstable or it's not very well managed, then essentially you're going to be writing a letter to the GP so that or a consultant or a specialist, so that you're able to gather more information about that condition and check that they are safe to exercise. However, if they say that they are stable and there are no yeses to the secondary questions, so they're all no's, then you're able to work with them immediately as long as you apply your considerations and your contraindications. So these are going to be the exercises that you can and can't do with that particular condition. Now for hypertension, these include not doing any isometric exercise, so that's things like plank or iso squats, not doing any exercise whereby the arms go overhead because that elevates the blood pressure, and also not taking them to anaerobic, so that's keeping the RPE 7 and below out of 10. So it's making sure that you're implementing all the things to make it safe and effective. So if you do need more help and you want to become qualified in level 3 diploma in supporting clients with long-term conditions, I know it's wordy, but basically this allows you to work with all different long-term conditions, but it also allows you to liaise with GPs and medical professionals. If you'd like to find out more about that, you just need to click the link and you can find out about the course that we offer here at Parallel Coaching, and that will explain everything about the course and what it will allow you to do. If you do have any questions, you can reach out to us. But what I would love to hear from today is what your big takeaway has been from today's video. Drop a little comment below and let me know. Have a fantastic day ahead. Take care.